Hello and welcome to the Premier League preview brought to you by sportsbet.io. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Get involved with the guys' thoughts regarding the games that we've got coming up for game week 28 of the Premier League. We're going to preview the big games this coming weekend. We're also going to put 10 USDT on the guys' trebles. It was been a couple of weeks since we last spoke. One of you landed their trebles last time out and won a fair bit of money. Let's see if we can tell from the facial expressions who think they landed their trebles. Yeah, bit of a clue there. And also we're going to have another quiz of a game called On the Buzzer, the quiz that actually doesn't have a buzzer. It has been a couple of weeks since we spoke. So hello to Paul Robinson, former England and Spurs goalkeeper. How are you?
Yep, very well, sir. Thank you. Yourself? Missed you.
Very good, thank you. I also have to say thank you for the sacrifice. It is your wedding anniversary today, and you're spending your wedding anniversary morning talking to us. So that is very much appreciated. Your dedication to this podcast, it doesn't go without note. So thank you.
There is nowhere I would rather be, believe me.
You absolute liar.
Who gets married in March?
Say that again.
Who gets married in March?
Robbo does. Lots of people do. Yeah.
During the season.
How many years?
The season? Obviously not. No, you weren't playing.
Well, no, not during the season, no.
How many years?
Too many to count.
Okay. What did she get you for your wedding anniversary?
A golfing drinks cup thing that keeps your drinks either hot or cold with all the kids' faces on it. So when I go golfing and get away from everybody, I have to take them all with me in the golf bag every time I pull it out the golf bag.
And what did you get your lovely other off?
She's away on holiday with me at the moment for 3 days, and she gets me every morning. What more could she want?
Absolutely priceless. And hello to Neil Mellor as well, former Liverpool striker. Hope you're well. You've had a fairly good couple of weeks with Liverpool, and that's where we're going to start actually with a talking point as well. Is that since we last spoke, Liverpool have beaten Man City, and Liverpool have now pulled 13 points clear at the top of the table, albeit. They've played a game more, and I know what Mells is going to say to this, but surely that season over, isn't it? Now that's surely Liverpool marching on to Premier League champions for this season, isn't it?
Oh, it's a commanding lead, Gav. It really is. 13 points. It can be 16. I think psychologically that's a big ask for Arsenal to look at that and think they can close the gap and make it a real title race. It's Liverpool's to lose, and it would take something quite extraordinary for Liverpool not to win the Premier League title this season. But whilst it's possible, there's still hope for Arsenal. 10 games to go for Liverpool, and 6 of them are at Anfield. Can't wait for Southampton at the weekend to make it 16 points clear.
I have to say, we are recording this on the day that Liverpool play PSG. What game that is going to be in the Champions League. But it was very rare occasion at the weekend where actually there was lots of football and Liverpool sat with their feet up. We got Plymouth Argyle to thank for that. And actually, in hindsight, losing that game, it would have been nice for Liverpool to just have a few days off, isn't it? Because literally been playing every other day.
Yeah, well, Liverpool had 5 games in 15 days, and that sort of schedule, that intensity, tough for any team. Liverpool came through it really well to have the advantage at the top of the Premier League table. So, yeah, not being in the FA Cup, obviously not ideal to be knocked out by Plymouth, but it's just allowed a little bit of rest, a little bit of recovery ahead of a massive couple of weeks for Liverpool. PSG in the Champions League, Premier League game against Southampton can extend the lead, and a League Cup final as well. So some big games around the corner for Liverpool.
And also, as we say, who's got the dog, by the way? Who's the one that's got the dog?
Me. The text is going into the missus now. Can you shut the dog up, please?
Also saying hello to Mel's dog as well. One of the big talking points, actually, Rob, I want you just an honest opinion on this one, is a goalkeeper now being penalised for holding the ball for more than 8 seconds, and how they're going to be penalised by giving away a corner. What's your initial thinking of that?
Turning it into 5-a-side, aren't we? It's turning it into Power League on a Thursday night. I mean, they used to do 6 seconds, didn't they? And then that got kind of, I don't know whether that rule got taken out or it just kind of faded out of football. You can understand why they've done it. There's a deterrent in there. But when you actually look at the percentage of goals scored by corners, it's not really a huge deterrent. But you can understand why the rule's been brought in. But I think everyone has a writhe smile or a little chuckle when you tell them what the punishment for going over the 8 seconds is. I mean, it's coming in. I think it's coming in quite quick, and it's coming in at the end of the season. Something has to be done because there's a lot of gamesmanship. There's a lot of game playing going on with the time wasting. I get it. I understand it. How do you stop it? You bring a rule in. But I think that the punishment is somewhat laughable.
It's going to be here for the World Cup. It's going to be brought in for the World Cup as well. It's been tried already in a number of games in a number of leagues across Europe. What they basically said is this 6-second rule, it's basically been ignored. So we're going to introduce an 8-second one where the referee kind of gives a 5-second countdown. But generally what goalkeepers do these days, and is they just catch the ball, and if they've got time, they put it on the floor, prepare to kick it. And when it's on the floor, it's in play anyway, so there's no time wasting. So
but what they're trying to stop is they're trying to stop the ones later in the game where the goalkeepers go to ground for no reason. You all see it when the ball comes into the chest of the goalkeeper. They take it quite simply. They fall to the floor, lay down in the 6-yard box, lay down sprawled, take the time to get up, and then take the time to distribute. It's that type of motion and that type of movement that they want to take out of the game. How they're going to police it is another thing. It's going to take a brave referee to initially give the decisions. They're obviously going to be under pressure to do it. But what you're going to find is we're going to be in a stadium where all of a sudden, every time the goalkeeper gets the ball, the whole stadium is going to start counting to 8. You know exactly what's going to happen. There's going to be a countdown started. It's going to be an interesting one to police to start with.
And where does it stop? Because if we are cutting down on time wasting, and it is towards the end of a game, and there's a corner that's given, and the corner taker takes an eternity over taking the corner, do we literally give them 8 seconds and say, look, you've got 8 seconds to take corner, otherwise we're going to give a goal kick? I mean, that would be common sense, wouldn't it?
Messing with the game too much. The game's been messed with far too much.
So they're the big talking points that's happened in the last couple of weeks. We are now going to preview some of the big games for game week 28. The starting point is Forest against Manchester City. That's where we're looking at the moment. In fact, I'll just reach for my laptop to get some prices on this one. I'm going to say that, Robbo, you can have first picks on this one. It's 1 win in 5 for Forest, but in those 5 games, they've scored 11 and conceded 11. Man City, of course, have won at Spurs midweek, but here's a stat. Man City have not won back-to-back games away in the Premier League since August, which is an astonishing record. What's your thinking in this? Well, I would say, what was top of the table clash? It is third at home to fourth. Yeah.
Forest third, for Man City fourth. I mean, there's only Liverpool and Arsenal that have picked up more points than Manchester City in this calendar year. So they've certainly turned a corner in the Premier League. In the Champions League, they're outplayed, obviously. Forest, it's the big test for them this part of the season. We're 28 games, 27 games into a season. That it's no fluke that they are where they are. And they've had an excellent season, Nottingham Forest. I think after that 7-0 win against Brighton, they've not won another Premier League game since. I mean, it's only 3 games since. But I think the thing that Forest have built their success on is clean sheets. 11 clean sheets this year. There's only Liverpool in the Premier League that have had more clean sheets than Forest. So unders on the goal is generally a good one in this game. They've had no wins in 9 versus Manchester City, Forest. So you can't really go on recent form, though, with Forest. When you look at stats on, not recent form, longevity, you look at the stats over a period of time, Forest against Manchester City will be heavily weighted in the favour of Manchester City. I think those stats have got to go out the window when you look at this game, because Manchester City are certainly in a different place to where they've been over the last 5 years, as are Nottingham Forest. The two teams at very different ends of the form scale as to where they've been. I can see this one being tight. I think Forest will make a game of it. I'm going to sit on the fence and go draw, 1 apiece.
That is the best result that Forest have had against Man City since they returned to the Premier League, and the only time that Forest have scored against Man City since they returned.
I don't think that matters, though. That's the point I'm making. I really don't think that matters. The stats over the years are not relevant to where the two teams are now.
Yeah, I completely agree. And also the pricing here is you've got Forest at just under 4 and you've got Man City at just under 2. So the pricing is of as it would be a couple of years ago or even last year, but not reflective of where these teams are. It is effectively third at home to fourth, fourth being Man City. You're all thinking then, Mells?
Yeah, I mean, you have to remember that Forest have been really strong at home. Liverpool went there, could only get a draw. Arsenal went there, could only get a draw. 1 defeat in 10 last Premier League games at home for Forest. That was against Newcastle. So this will be a difficult game for City. I know we're sort of saying they've turned the corner. They can go above Forest as well. You think about how Forest have been above City for ages now, but this is a chance for City to sort of cement that top 4 place, because at times it's been in doubt. I mean, what a season for Forest. If they can get in the top 4 or 5, it'd be brilliant. I think neutrals, a lot of people in football would love to see it. It'd be great. And now they're becoming under pressure. Now they're really coming under pressure for those top 4 spots. If they get a draw, I think it'd be a great result for them. I've just got a feeling City will nick it. I just think City will nick this one. But I agree, a tight game, 12:30 kickoff. I'm going for an away win, 2-1.
Yeah, that's what I put down. I was ahead of you. I think he's going to go for a 2-1 scoreline here. It is a 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. Forest buoyant, by the way, because even though they drew at home to Ipswich in the FA Cup midweek, they still won a penalty shootout. Huge lift of pressure from Forest after a run of poor form in the Premier League. So they had a fairly good week. And the FA Cup is on for Forest as well as a top four finish in the Premier League. Right, let's look at game 2 then. It's a 4:30 kickoff on Sunday, and it's Man United at home to Arsenal. In the last 7 home games for Manchester United in the league, the away side has scored first in all 7. That does include Ipswich last time out. Arsenal, who I thought would struggle in Europe midweek. They just won 7-1 at PSV. Move on from that. I don't trust Arsenal. They score 7. We'll move on from that. Mells, you're thinking in this one?
Comfortable banker away, isn't it? I mean, a lot's been made about Arsenal because they've gone 13 points behind Liverpool. They've lost once in 17 Premier League games. So it's not like they've been losing games. They got beat, which was a big surprise, at home to West Ham. They drew at Forest, which is a tough game. Arsenal will get back to winning ways in the Premier League. Little doubt about that one. Yes, really tough game against PSV, we thought, but it wasn't. 7-1. They'll be absolutely buzzing from that. United have got a Europa League game away at Sociedad. I don't think they'll go there and win 7-1. I mean, United have been really poor. Really poor. They took Fulham to penalties. Ended up getting beat in the FA Cup. I mean, looking at the form, they've won 4 of the last 13 in the Premier League. This is Manchester United. At home, they've lost 5 of the last 7 games, Manchester United. Yeah, I'm on all day long, Arsenal to go there and get a win. They have a terrible record at Old Trafford, but I think they'll go there and get a win 1-0.
1-0 for the away side. I think what surprised me in the FA Cup watching Fulham was how much Fulham dominated possession. How much it wasn't like Man United had Fulham penned back and they were missing chances. I thought it was fairly comfortable for Fulham to play at Old Trafford. It's just not that intimidating place that it once was. You're thinking then, Robbo, for Man United at home to Arsenal?
I think it shows where Manchester United are, that we were all surprised that Fulham didn't have it wrapped up in the 90 minutes. And the price that Fulham were before that game, I don't think there was many people that would, 2 or 3 seasons ago, Fulham going to Old Trafford, there would have been a home banker, wouldn't it? But listen, there's still something there at Manchester United for all the mess that they're in at the moment, on, off the field. I mean, they're sat 14th in the Premier League. And like Mel says, the record there is terrible. The only games that they've played well in, you think about the games they've played well in, Arsenal away in the FA Cup where they got through on penalties, played well in the game. Liverpool got a decent result. Manchester City got a decent result. I think they can turn up in big games. I'm going to give them a draw. I don't think this in heart and head. I'm going to chuck them in my accumulator as well. I'm going to chuck them in my treble because I think they'll be a decent price. Actually, for me score prediction, if I'm betting sensibly and betting with my own money, I'm going 1-1 draw. But actually, for me score predictions, I'm going to chuck them in my treble because I think there might be a decent price at home. Because they can pull it out in those games.
This is the thing. Man United have not scored in the last 2 Premier League games against Arsenal. But the price of Manchester United is over 5 to win at home to Arsenal. And it's been many, many, many years. In fact, I can't even think of the last time that Manchester United were as big as that to win at home to Arsenal. By the way, this game is the subject of this week's 433, your chance to win 50 USDT free bet. Entries are free for users who have placed a 10 USDT free bet. You answer 4 multiple choice questions about Man United against Arsenal. If you get all 4 right, you win 50 USDT. If you get 3 out of 4 right, you win 10 USDT free
10.
bet.
You win 10, that's it. That's right. You win a load of 10.
Go to sportsbet.io for more information. Right, game 3. Now, we're talking about this one because purely we've got ex-Liverpool striker, very close connections to the club, Neil Mellor. Liverpool at home to Southampton, and nobody at all is going for a Southampton win, right? So this is possibly just about how many goals will Liverpool score. I'm always fearful of dismissing teams, but we can dismiss Southampton. I think it's fair to say in this one. Right, Mells, I'm going to let you go first on this one. It's your side.
The 13 points from safety? They're down, aren't they, Southampton? No chance. What I would say, and why it's maybe not going to be like a 5, 6, 7, which it could be if Liverpool went all out with the strongest team. This is sandwiched between the Paris Saint-Germain games. And so I just think Liverpool will make changes. Liverpool are away at Paris Saint-Germain on the Wednesday. This is Saturday, 3 o'clock. I just don't think all the big hitters will start this one. I think because the second leg is on the Tuesday. So I expect a number of changes to be made. And for that reason, it'll only be 3 or 4. So I'll go for 3-0.
You literally
Only 3 or 4.
Yeah, you literally couldn't have handpicked a better game, though. With the greatest respect to Southampton, if you've got 2 games, crunch games, home and away against PSG, and you wanted a Premier League tie at home in between, this is the game, isn't it?
Yeah, Southampton or Leicester, 2 teams that are absolutely awful. But Liverpool have still got to turn up. Southampton will be wasting time. They'll be trying all kinds of antics. They'll be absolutely buzzing with a draw. And as soon as Liverpool get that opening goal, I can't really see Southampton scoring or getting more than one, that's for sure. So, yeah, Liverpool should have enough. The squad is looking healthy at the moment. Changes will be made, but still should be way too strong for Southampton.
Southampton have scored 2 in 5 games at home. They've scored 6 in 5 away from home. They actually scored more goals away from home. So I guess the question is, can Southampton score? Robbo, what's you thinking? Liverpool, Southampton, 3 p.m. Saturday.
Pointless. Don't even bet on it. You're not going to make any money on this game. Completely pointless. You're not going to get any money back in Liverpool. You're not going to get any money by backing one of 5 goal scorers. 5-0 Liverpool. Pointless game.
5-0 Liverpool, even a much changed Liverpool side. They are, in fact, let me look at they're just over 1 to win this game. No one is surprised at that. Southampton are just under 20, which will be one of the biggest prices of the entire season, if not the biggest. Right. The final game we're looking at, and we're talking about this because it is Robbo's old side, Spurs at home to Bournemouth, 2 p.m. on Sunday. Rather bizarrely, Spurs have 33 points. Bournemouth have 43 points, so Bournemouth have 10 points more, but actually Spurs have scored 53 and Bournemouth have scored 45. It's rather bizarre. That tells you everything about Spurs, doesn't it, Robbo? What's your thinking and your score prediction?
I'm starting to feel the back. I was there against Manchester City last week, and I thought in the second half they outplayed Manchester City. I thought in the first half Manchester City were really good. Similar City side of old in the first half, and they created a lot of problems, especially Doku on the left wing. I think Pedro Porro really struggled with them in the first half. Second half, Tottenham made a couple of changes later in the game. He rested Son and Kulusevski. You say he rested them, but actually Kulusevski's played 41 times. And I think Son, it might have been a case of rotation because his form hasn't been great anyway. So I think he used that opportunity to maybe rotate the 2 of them in and out the side. Second half, I thought Tottenham were excellent and they possibly deserved to come away with at least a point out of that game. Good performance away at Ipswich. He's starting to get players back. But again, the European thing is going to be playing on their minds because as we speak now, we don't know how they've got on. They're away at AZ Alkmaar, which is, listen, the whole season for Tottenham is resting on the Europa League. You know, there's no hiding behind it. From 13th in the Premier League, they're not going to cause anyone a problem there. But actually, with the season that they've had, the injuries and what a poor season it's been to this point, we could actually still end up in the Champions League, which is almost incredible to think about. You know, there's a lot of other teams, Man United including, thinking that in this Europa League. There's still a strong nucleus of teams in that league, and it's going to be very difficult. It's not going to be an easy victory. But I think that all of Tottenham's eggs are in the Europa League basket, in all honesty. So they will be focused on that. And with that in mind, there'll be changes. I think this will be a close game against Bournemouth because Bournemouth, they've fallen off a little bit, Bournemouth. Beat Wolves on penalties, but lost 1-0 at home to Wolves. Lost at Brighton, but they're only 6 points off Europe. Their route to Europe for first time in a long time, if ever, is through the Premier League. So Tottenham, for me, they will have one eye focused on this AZ Alkmaar game because that is literally Tottenham's season, the Europa League. So I'm going to go for an entertaining 2-2 draw.
Goals are plenty, but only 1 point apiece. You would argue that Spurs, after one win, 11, 12 Premier League games, suddenly won 3 back-to-back before the defeat to Man City. It seems that they may have just turned a bit of a corner. The last 3 games between these two sides have all been over 3.5 goals, so there's plenty of goals when these teams play. Mells, you're thinking score prediction, Spurs-Bournemouth?
Yeah, this is not the game Spurs wanted in between 2 tough European games. I think Bournemouth are an excellent side. They'll be fresher. You know, obviously Spurs are playing on the Thursday night. Spurs would not have had a midweek game. Spurs are in form. If you look at the Premier League form, won 3 of the last 4. Bournemouth are out of form, lost 3 of the last 4. Spurs at home, 1 win in 10 Premier League games. Man United. Everyone beats United, don't they? Sorry, I had to get that one in. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it and thinking Spurs are getting a few players back. And as Robbo said, their season is Europa League. I think for them, they just have to get through that AZ tie. So good time for Bournemouth to go to Spurs. And I'm on a Bournemouth win. Like Bournemouth, like the way they play. They'll have a go. Goals in this game. Spurs are the second highest home scorers in the league. Second away top scorers, Bournemouth in the Premier League. There you go. So away win, 2-1.
2-1 in the Dominic Solanke derby, as no one calls it. Yeah, that victory at home Man United is the only time that of late that Spurs have kept a clean sheet. Good luck with your score predictions as well. Do let us know. Do comment and offer your score predictions for the big four that we've just covered. We're now playing On the Buzzer. This is a quiz called On the Buzzer where, ironically, we don't actually have a buzzer. And I know that Robbo went for 2-2 between Spurs and Bournemouth. It is also 2-2 between me and Robbo since we started playing this game a few weeks back. He did win 2 weeks ago to level it up. Neil Mellor is the quiz master. He's going to ask 6 questions. He's going to take alternate turn as to who he asks first. Whoever doesn't get it right, if they ask first, the other person could come in and steal the point. Mells, who are you asking first?
Robbo.
Right, I'm going to put my laptop away so there's no cheating. Robbo,
Gav, just to confirm, has there been any rule changes in your favour again this week to help you, or is it still as it was?
No, nothing like that. It's a purely democratic process here. So let's crack on. Robbo to go first. I wish you the best of luck, my friend.
Yeah, I thought Robbo was losing, so he's got a few easier questions this week. Anyway, it's 2-2, bro. Right, Forest against Man City. Here we go. Nice, easy one for you, Robbo. The last time Forest beat Man City at home was 30 years ago, 1995. Jason Lee, Brian Roy, Stuart Pearce, Bart Williams were in that Nottingham Forest team. Kincladze, Beagrie, Rosler were playing for City. Forest won 3-0 that day. It was 1-1 back at Main Road. Who finished higher in the league that season? Was it Forest or Man City? 1995. Last time Forest beat Man City at home.
I'm going to make
obviously cannot go away across the Gav if I get it wrong.
Correct. I'm about to make that rule that if you get this wrong, I'm not going to pick up the point because obviously it's an open goal for me. So you have a fair shout at this one.
Forest or Man City? 1990 what?
5. Brian Roy scored a goal in the game. I kicked him on with
Bart Williams. Forest were decent. Then Forest. I'm going to go Forest.
Forest finished 9th. Man City relegated 18th. There we go. Easy. I told you got your upper running.
Bang on. Right, question 1 for me to level it up.
Okay, Chelsea v Leicester, Gav. Last win away at Chelsea was 2018, 1-0. Who scored? James Maddison, Harry Maguire, or Jamie Vardy? Who scored the winner for Leicester last time they beat Chelsea away? Maguire, Maddison, or Vardy?
See, I tend to overthink this and go, well, you've put Maguire in for a reason. But I'm going to have to go with Vardy because it's just the most obvious one. And sometimes I talk myself out of it. So I'm going to go with Vardy.
Not Maddison.
No, not
definitely not Maddison.
Don't do this. I'm going to stick with Vardy. I'm not going to change. I'm going to go with Vardy.
Correct.
Hey, you little devil, you. I see your tactic. Right, yeah. Question 3 to Robbo.
I was hoping you said Maguire. Right, here we go. Spurs Bournemouth. This is one for you, Robbo. Bournemouth have won once in their history away at Spurs. 2023, it was 3-2. How many goals did Solanke get that day for Bournemouth?
2.
No, 1. Unlucky.
Oh, I was going to nick in there, but that's fine. Okay.
Well, there was a 1 in 3 chance, wasn't there?
Okay. Right, this is for me to take the lead then. Question 4.
Okay, Liverpool against Southampton. Liverpool have signed 15 players from Southampton in history. Who was the last Southampton player Liverpool bought? Danny Ings, Virgil van Dijk, or Mane?
That's a very good question.
Mane, Van Dijk, or Danny Ings? Liverpool have signed loads of Southampton players. Who was the last one Liverpool signed?
Right, if I get this wrong, let Robbo try and nick this one. I'm going to go with Danny Ings.
Correct. 2-1. Danny Ings was the last one Liverpool bought.
Thank you.
2-1 to Gav. Here we go. Man United, Arsenal. You both got a question on this one. Robbo, you first. Arsenal have won once in the Premier League away at Manchester United in 18 years with fans. COVID season didn't count. Who scored the winning goal back in 2006 for Arsenal? So that's one win in 18 years. Who scored in 2006 for Arsenal? Is it Alexander Hleb, Adebayor, or Freddie Ljungberg? Was it Freddie Ljungberg, Adebayor, or Alexander Hleb? Who got the winner? 2006.
You've got
Man
it
United
right.
had Ronaldo, Rooney, Scholes, Ferdinand, Neville. They all played that day. 1-0 the Arsenal. Hleb, Adebayor.
Lundberg.
Is it Hleb, Adebayor, or Ljungberg?
Hleb.
Don't change your...
Is it Hleb, Adebayor, or Ljungberg?
Adebayor. There you go.
Correct.
You can have one
Correct.
Unbelievable.
3-2.
Oh.
Is the signal all right? Is the signal gone down?
Come in,
All right?
testing 1 2 1 2. Hello, receiving. Come on then.
Is the Wi-Fi all right?
Yeah.
I said Adebayor. Did anyone hear Adebayor?
It's funny how you went for Viltor straight away because that was my first answer, but clearly that was incorrect. Right. Well, this is for me to win.
This to win it. Here we go. Man United v Arsenal. We're still on that one. How many Premier League titles have Manchester United won since Arsenal last won the title? Arsenal last won the title in 2003, 2004. How many have United won? Is it 3, 4, or 5?
I'm going to go middle for diddle. I'm going to go for 4.
Wrong, and you're not going to get to steal, Robbo, so it's going to be a tiebreaker. It was 5. It was 5. Here we go. Tiebreaker question. We've named him already. Jamie Vardy is 38 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how many goals he scored for Leicester.
Oh. Well, I know what's going to happen here. Robbo's going to stay silent, and I can tell, even without looking at him, I could tell. What? Oh, Lordy Lord. How many goals has he scored for Leicester? This is just Leicester, because I think, did you join him in the Championship as well? I'm going to go for 112.
113.
I knew he was going to do that.
Nowhere near, both of you. 198. 2 goals off 200 for Leicester. Robbo wins it this week. That Adebayor was vital.
I'm going to go to the authorities about that one and review the question. But well done, Robbo. You win 3-2, and we will play On the Buzzer, the game show without a buzzer, next week on the Premier League preview. Right now, it's time for the Trebles. So the way this works, you're going to give me your 3 best picks of the week. We're going to put 10 USDT on those picks, and if the treble lands, we are going to donate whatever money you make to charity at the end of the season. Going into last week, a couple of weeks ago, Mells, you had 158 USDT in the bank. Robbo, you had 68 USDT in the bank, and I'm happy to say that one of you has extended the money in their bank, because I will tell you that someone landed Spurs, Brighton and Liverpool, which was 7.49, which means we're sticking 74 USDT into the account of Neil Mellor. It goes up to 233.7. So that's a nice amount of money that you're now starting to bank. So well done, Mells. You did land your treble a couple of weeks ago. So fair shout. Well done, my friend.
That was brave. I went Liverpool at City. It was brave.
Well, we said at the time that actually I thought that was a very good price for 3 teams. That Spurs, Brighton, Liverpool. You're not backing Leicester. You're not throwing Crystal Palace in there. They all seemed relatively sound bets, and it landed. So fair shout. Robbo, for the record, you did go for Everton, Fulham and Spurs, and you got let down by Everton and Fulham. But we shall go again. Mells, your treble for this week, please.
Okay, I've gone a little bit risky, to be honest. Brentford at home to Villa. I thought, because it's sandwiched between the 2 Champions League games for Villa, I think they might just be a little bit off it. Brentford at home. So Brentford at home. Bournemouth away at Spurs. Again, it falls in between 2 European games for Spurs, and Bournemouth are decent. And then Arsenal away at Manchester United, because United aren't great and Arsenal should win there.
That is double figures. That treble is 10.7 USDT, which is a return, obviously, of 107 USDT. Now, this is where, because you tell me beforehand what's going to be your treble. Robbo doesn't, so I have to get my laptop. I know for sure that the cornerstone of this is going to be Manchester United to win, because you're sticking them in there, aren't you?
Yeah, put Man United in there.
That's already 5.3.
There we go. And there's a game that we've looked over. West Ham are at home to Newcastle on Monday. Newcastle got a cup final next Sunday. So West Ham to beat Newcastle, Man United, West Ham And I'll stick my boys Tottenham in there as well, even though I think it's going to be a draw, but I'll put them in there.
So you've gone for 3 home sides to win. That treble of Spurs, Man United and West Ham United is a nice tasty 41.28. And we're about to stick 10 USDT on it right now, which is 412.8. I guess the issue there for many people will be Manchester United, but they're at home to an Arsenal side who travelled well in Europe but struggling in the Premier League a little bit. So fair shout on that one. I wish you the very best of luck, and we will be back for next week to see if the trebles landed. Guys, I want to thank you for your time. Very much appreciated. Thank you to the other half for allowing on your wedding anniversary to spend some time with us this morning, Robbo. So thank you for that. Also, Mells, thank you for the cameo appearance of the dog as well. That was very much appreciated. Enjoy the football this weekend, and whatever your bets are, please do gamble responsibly. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Get involved with Clubhouse TV. Offer your thoughts, and we will do it all again next week. Take care.